Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is called In the Still of the Night, and we are heading into winter solstice. And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and you're out walking around, it sure is dark. And it's kind of an interesting time of year, to go within. Think about the upcoming year, think about where you want to be and what you want to do. So we're going to go ahead and move into this reading, and we're going to see what Spirit would like to tell you about this time in your life, okay? And for pile number 1, we have the Labradorite. For pile number 2, we have the black Tourmaline. And for pile number 3, we have the Serpentine. And you can go directly to the description box below to find your pile. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the other piles aside. I hope everybody is doing well out there. We've got a Mercury retrograde coming up here, and can already kind of feel it happening a little bit. But here we are anyway at the end of the year, ready to take on the new year. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. I'm going to ring the bell. And we will begin. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the Labradorite, and today's reading is called In the Still of the Night. And we're going to find out what Spirit wants to tell you about your life right now, pile number 1. Maybe you have a question that you've had on your mind, or you've just been in deep reflection as we look at the end of the year and we're moving on into the next year. Let's go ahead and find out what Spirit would like to tell pile number 1 at the very beginning of this new year. Actually coming up right. It's interesting because I wasn't doing, and that was the 9 of Swords that just popped up. So maybe there is something that you guys are worried about coming up at the start of the year, a change that is happening, or you're having some anxiety about something new coming up, okay? But let's go ahead and find out what's going on for you, pile number 1, what advice Spirit has for you. Well, they just want to be straightforward. Your guys' cards came out already here. I feel like pile number 1, they're already here, and they're already like big changes are upon you. So we have the Ace of Wands, the Aeon in this deck, which represents the Judgment card, and then we have the 5 of Swords. And I can see where you're at, pile number 1, because perhaps you feel like, well, I don't want to get my hopes up because in the past I've tried something, I've been really excited about it, and it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. And so I'm feeling uneasy about something, okay? Or feeling uneasy, but also excited with the Ace of Wands, also excited, but uneasy about something. And this reading wasn't even supposed to I didn't really set the intention of it being about the beginning of next year, but perhaps there's something coming up in January or February that you're excited about, but you're also nervous about it too. Okay, pile number 1, so Spirit really wanting to talk to you about what it feels like when we're kind of on the edge of our seats about something, okay? And it can be an exciting time, but it can also be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is going to work out the way I want. So let's go ahead and see. Let's find out a little more information here. We've got older man, dealings or relationship with an older man, okay? We've got shark, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth, okay? And maybe that's what you guys are worried about, that you're worried that there will be a loss of material wealth if you take this opportunity, okay? Also, I feel some of you don't want to be seen as greedy, but you're not happy where you're at. And perhaps there's a conversation that needs to happen here. We have the Hierophant, okay? And we have Turkey, good news. Oh, well, That'll ease your mind. Turkey, good news. You may soon receive an important but unexpected gift. Accept this with deep respect. Someone has sacrificed a lot to help open doors and to help you grow. A lot of things will change for the better. Oh my gosh, pile number 1. Okay. And perhaps this is this older man or somebody coming into your life, and immediately maybe you guys are suspicious of this person, or you think that, you know, what they're trying to bring, and it doesn't have to be a man, but somebody who is trying to open up a doorway for you or is trying to give you something, an unexpected gift, but perhaps you guys are suspicious of this and you're like, well, I can do this myself and I don't need your help. Okay. But this is interesting. And I do feel with the Hierophant here, you guys are very self-reliant, pile number 1, and you pride yourself on being self-reliant. Okay. But I do feel like there is somebody who is, and the thing is, pile number 1, I feel like you're going into 2024 with how do I protect myself, okay? And how do I, it's interesting because my eye just landed on this candle in front of me and it says the spirit of good luck. And so that's really interesting because it's right here in front of me, but I never noticed it anymore. That's so weird. Why did I say that way? I never noticed that before, pile number 1. And maybe you have been a little worried, like I am trying to pull something off here that's pretty big, and I am trying to pull something off. I'm excited about it, but I'm also a little bit scared, okay? And for those of you who are considering like job changes, you're worried about a job loss, or you're considering shifting something entirely when it comes to your money, because we've got the Hierophant here, which represents Taurus energy in the tarot. So we're talking about that practical energy. Also, we have take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. So perhaps that is something that you're worried about or focused on right now. Pile number 1, I almost called you guys, are focused on right now, Taurus. I almost called you guys Tauruses, but anyway, and you know what, with the Ace of Wands and the Aeon with Judgment, I kind of feel that you feel there may be a trial by fire coming up, is another word that I just got, like trial by fire. And I'm also getting something about a teaser or something that was a teaser in a situation. And it's like, if that was a teaser of what's ahead, I don't want that, okay? So maybe some of you are, and I do think, you know, moving this again, this wasn't even supposed to be about the new year per se, pile number 1, but I do feel like there is something heavily on your mind, okay? And I do feel like with the Hierophant here, stability is important to you, and stability, protection, and protecting what you've earned and what you've done, and feeling comfortable and stable in what you've created is important. And I feel like it's also important to stay open to new ideas. And what is so fascinating here, you guys, is that this Hierophant is actually, I've never noticed it in this deck before, but this Hierophant has his finger on the Hebrew letter Shin, which is one of the mother letters, and Shin is associated with the Judgment card. So wow, pile number 1, wow. And this Hierophant has a bear on one side of him and a bull on the other side of him. And bear and bull is traditionally like in the markets or finance or things like that. You know, are things looking up? Are things looking down? I need to protect my position. I need to protect where I'm at. But there also is like something that you guys are trying to change, because the energy of Judgment does have to do with transformation and change. After all, it is associated with Pluto. And Shin, the Hebrew letter Shin, means tooth, or to sink one's teeth into something, or to bite into something acidic. And I don't know why I'm giving you guys all this information, pile number one, but I think it's really fascinating that the Judgment card is right above this Hierophant, who's pointing at judgment at the beginning of this maze that this Hierophant is trying to navigate, okay? So some of you here could indeed be trying to navigate something new in your life, and it is exciting. It is, to quote unquote, use the word that the quote unquote press or whatever has been using for a while, is living in unprecedented times. And a lot of us are sick of that term, but I do feel like there is like a big action, or there is something really big that you guys are planning on doing. And part of it may be like, you know, like pissing off other people with this Five of Swords here, or it may be like you standing up for yourself, because I'm looking at her eyes here and they are very focused. So it may have to do with, hey, I've got to give some news to other people that isn't the greatest news, but it'll be good news at the end of the day, like that type of thing, pile number one, okay? And, you know, I kind of am getting this energy, pile number one, of letting someone else down to do the thing that you need to do. And maybe some of you are a little worried, like, oh my gosh, it seems like I'm being selfish or whatever. But it's almost like the idea to do this was kind of like implanted in your brain by the heavens above. And it's like, no, I have to do this. And I feel like you guys really want to start off strong. You know, you really, really want to start off strong, but you may be afraid of making these changes, okay? And a little bit on the defensive with this shark thing. Like, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me whatever. Like, you may be a little defensive and trying to prepare yourself for what's to come. And I totally get that, pile number one. I really do. But I like this good news. And, you know, because it's below the Five of Swords, I do think something that maybe was like disappointing or disheartening, all of a sudden something good comes out of it, or you get some good news that actually comes to you, okay? And you may soon receive an important but very unexpected gift. Accept the gift with deep respect. Wow, pile number one. You know, accept the gift with deep reverence and respect, which the Hierophant definitely knows how to do, okay? Someone has sacrificed a lot to help you open doors and grow. A lot of things will change for the better. Wow, pile number one, powerful. We have here, as soon as I said the word powerful, I turned over this card and what do I see? The word powerful. Anyway, magic is always present, isn't it? Pile number one in everything we do, but I am courageous and powerful, okay? I am courageous and I am powerful. And if you are needing to have a conversation where you have to stand up for yourself, I do think you're going to be very, you know, strong and able to do this, okay? And you can see the lion with the moon there, and maybe some of you have moon in Leo, or you're wanting to draw on some of those moon and Leo qualities of being very brave and tapped in, okay? Let's see what else we have here. We have crazy lace agate, new cycle. Oh my gosh. Well, and the Hierophant is pointing at a new cycle, and the Judgment card is all about a new cycle. And of course, the Ace of Wands is a new cycle as well. And, you know, the Ace of Wands is very fiery and unpredictable, though, at times. And so it does say crazy lace agate here. And so sometimes new beginnings and new cycles can feel kind of crazy at the beginning. And it's like, I don't know if this is good or bad. I'm not really sure here. So there is a need to be courageous and powerful and look out for your best interests, pile number 1, I feel here too, as you are moving into this new cycle. Crazy lace agate has patterns of lines and circles. Is there something in your life that repeatedly drives you crazy? Do you have unhealthy patterns of behavior that keep you stuck? Crazy lace agate releases you from the repetitive loop of the Nine of Swords, anxiety, worry, tempting to think the worst about everything. It frees you from frustration and gives you the courage and hope to start again. And pile number 1, your affirmation is, I am ready for a new cycle to begin. Boom, mic drop, okay? Whew, I know you are. I'm just doing my little snap for you there, pile number 1. I am ready for a new cycle to begin. And it's a cycle of stability and excitement and change. And, you know, of course, when we're entering into new cycles, like I said, it can be painful. There can be things that come up, and but at the same time, sacrifices that need to be made, etc. But at the same time, I feel like something is owed to you now, pile number 1, and someone could be making a crazy sacrifice for you for once in your life. I mean, that's wonderful when someone does that. It doesn't happen that often. So, and oftentimes when someone's doing that, we can think, well, what do they want? Why are they doing that? Like, what's in it for them, right? So I get where you're at, pile number 1. Ooh, my goodness. Okay. We have card 51 here, and it says the arousing, shock, a crisis, upheaval, awe-inspiring, dramatic power shifts. Wow. Unpredictability, a shakeup that's a wake up. And that's definitely the Judgment card as well. It's a wake up call. It's a huge wake up call in your life. And it is awe-inspiring with the Ace of Wands. And fire can be very unpredictable. And you know, dramatic shifts can sometimes be mentally agitating for sure with the Nine of Swords, okay? But I actually feel with the Hierophant here, you guys are able to maintain your stability through all of this, okay? And the fact that you're entering into a new cycle is actually a good thing, pile number 1. It's a very, very positive, good thing for you, okay? And maybe, I feel like with the Five of Swords here, maybe some of you have, you know, lost relationships along the way. You've lost jobs along the way, relationships along the way, friendships along the way. And the Judgment card is like, throw it all into the fire. At this point, we have to start brand new, okay? And, ooh, we have protection. Wow. And I have been talking about you guys having a sense of protection around you. And I mentioned the bear and the bull here around the Hierophant, like protecting and solidifying the Hierophant. And it says, call back your power, okay? Cut the cords, soul retrieval, okay? Call back your power, pile number 1. Cut the cords with anything that has diminished your power. Retrieve your soul. Okay, soul retrieval is actually very much associated with the Judgment card for sure, because it's like that bare bones, stripped down, naked reality that hits us like a blazing sun that directly shines into our soul. And it's like, there you are, you know, and there's no doubt about it. There is a phoenix on top of this card as well. And there is something for you about being a phoenix rising, pile number 1, okay? And, you know, the only thing I would say is, yes, you are calling back your power. Yes, you are cutting the cords, but and I can see a defensive stature being taken here. Like, I don't want that. Stay away from me. And it's coming out under this good news. So I do think you should be open-minded though, because I do think there is someone that is going to help you with something, and, you know, or is going to be somebody very stabilizing to you in these new times, okay? But if you're protecting yourself so much that you're blocking yourself off, or you're being so defensive that you're not willing to take in the information, or you just automatically poo-poo it, then you could, you know, then that's kind of how we can sometimes stay stuck in the same mindset. But I don't feel like that's going to happen to you guys, pile number one. I feel Spirit is here protecting you and saying, don't worry about it. We got your back. We're protecting you. Anyone that tries to come after you, they're not going to last 5 seconds, okay? We got you. We got you. You're solid. You're stable. Everything's okay. Your world's going to be rocked, pile number one, but in a good way. Okay, my loves? Ooh, we have eclipse in Aquarius. Awakening. The awakening, okay? And this is card 35. The Ace of Wands will really wake you up. The Ace of Wands will really light a fire under your butt. It's like that alarm going off, and it's like, whoo, I gotta get up, okay? This eclipse in Aquarius, it says your deeper resolve rises, okay? But I love that the person on this card is in a meditative state. Some of you could have an Aquarius coming into your life that does some really cool, where some really cool stuff happens, or they help you in some type of really cool way, okay? And what does it say here? Oh, okay. I also feel like this Aquarius is pointing at a Sagittarius as well, okay? And so there could be something here with an Aquarius or Sagittarius, and perhaps someone that has Scorpio in their chart too. But it's like the lights come on and you see what is, and you see what's there, and it's beautiful, okay? Pile number one. And maybe some of you up and coming in the new year will be working on your spirituality with this Hierophant here, and meditation, and awakening something within you that's been there all along, but you've just been too scared to kind of bring it forward. Do you know what I'm saying? And Aquarius is about innovation and bringing things forward, and bringing new ideas and bringing new ways of looking at things to the surface. And I do think that there could be somebody that you meet that kind of opens your eyes to some things, pile number one, okay? And I also feel like you're going to be harnessing that energy for yourself as well, as people have a way of inspiring us to live deeper sometimes. Do you know what I mean, pile number one? Wow. Okay, now. And it's interesting because this is Leo, all right? This says Leo on it. And of course, Leo is opposite to Aquarius. And I mentioned the Leo with the moon there, okay, with the lion head. But here Leo comes up again, talking about I am courageous, I am powerful. And it says courageous here again. So we have the word courageous showing up twice in your reading, okay? And so that's something right there, all right? Courageous, the courageous changes that are coming your way. And it says spotlight, courageous, and creative, okay? Somebody putting the spotlight on your work, or somebody putting the spotlight on you, you guys stepping into a really courageous, empowered journey where lights, camera, action are on you, pile number one. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready to be a leader? Are you ready to step up to the plate? Are you ready for all that attention, pile number one? I don't mean to scare you guys, but like, are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Because it's gonna come in, and it's gonna be quick. I feel like with this arousing here, it's gonna be a dramatic shift, a power shift, a dramatic shift in power, where it's like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden you're in the spotlight, okay? And it's like, whoa, that happened really quick, or that was really crazy. I don't know how that happened, okay? And I'm seeing the letter C here, okay? So perhaps someone has a letter C. I'm seeing the letter P, the number 1, okay? I'm seeing the letter V and the letter A. VA, that could be Virginia, but I am seeing V and A, P15, okay? And I see a woman handing over something to a man who takes it and brings it over to a group of people, okay? And whether that's trusting someone with your work or presenting your work or showing it to someone, and they're like, all these people behind me need to see this, okay? The writing's on the wall. I can see it right here, pile number 1, okay? And I also see the word secrets on here and the letter E, okay? I also see MC, all right? So I just had to let you guys know what I was seeing. I was just scrying on that card right there, and I saw what I saw, pile number 1, and you are courageous and powerful. Remember that. You will get past if you are having doubts or insecurities. I fully think you're going to get through those, pile number 1, and I think there's going to be also somebody there powerful to take what you've done and pass it through the right channels, is what I'm also feeling, pile number 1, okay? So that is what I am getting for you, my loves. I hope that that reading resonated. What a fascinating reading, pile number 1. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback. Thank you so much, my loves, and take care. Let's move on to pile number 2, okay? Let's do it. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose the black tourmaline, and today's reading is called In the Still of the Night. And we're going to find out what messages Spirit has for you now. Pile number 2, I love this beautiful piece of black tourmaline. I haven't used that for a reading for a while. Here it is, hot off the press. Let's go ahead and get it for pile number 2. What does Spirit want to talk to pile number 2 about as it relates to this time period in their life? Ooh, as it relates to this time period in their life. What does Spirit want pile number 2 to know, please? I just heard the word maps, and I am all over the place, okay? And the word map or maps. Let's go ahead and see for pile number 2. Ooh, wow. The cards have really been, they've really been out of control tonight. It must be that Mercury retrograde energy coming in. So anyway, we have the 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and it says wealth, okay? The 10 of Pentacles in the tarot is the Lord of Wealth, but it is about building something strong and enduring that is meant to last. And it is about a legacy, leaving a legacy, or it is about fruitful multiplying of your desires to the point where you're not second guessing it, and no one else is either. Everyone can see what good has come of something when we run into the 10 of Pentacles, or how something has materialized. There's no questions about it anymore. Everyone knows, okay? Let's see here. We've got the Chariot, and the 10 of Pentacles is about goals and completing goals and finishing goals, okay? So we've got the Chariot here. We've got the 3 of Cups in celebration. Oh my gosh, yay. Pile number 2. We have 10 of Wands and burdens, okay? Those days are over. Pile number 2. And then we have the 6 of Swords and movement. I like it, okay? The Chariot is a very dynamic card. And, you know, all the care, love, focus, and attention that you've put into something, I feel like, you know, it's like, well, where is all of this headed? Where is it all going? Where am I headed? Where am I going? And of course, the Chariot is the traveler. The charioteer is commanding that. And I was channeling that thing about maps or kind of being all over the place. But the Chariot does know how to point itself in the right direction and keep a balance between two different things that are happening at the same time. Okay? And there is something here about wires getting crossed, or somebody getting their wires crossed as well. And maybe feeling like, okay, am I strong enough to pull this off? Am I going to be able to do this? I feel like the answer is definitely yes. Pile number 2, and God knows you've been really working hard, but I also feel you've been frustrated too. And it's like, I just want to know, what is the quickest way to make this happen? I'm sick of waiting is what I'm really feeling with the Chariot and the 3 of Cups. It's like, I'm sick of waiting for something and I'm frustrated and I want to know if I should just move on or if I should wait, okay? And I'm already getting an energy of romance, pile number 2, or something having to do with romance. So we will look at that, okay? And perhaps some of you here are wondering, you know, where is my happy ending? And what's interesting on this Chariot card is the word progress. And sometimes it feels like we're not getting anywhere with anything. And it doesn't feel like we're really moving forward, okay? And it just feels like everything's changing around us, but we're not like moving in any solid direction. But I mean, pile number 2, are you guys really hard on yourselves sometimes? Because I feel like there are people in your life that are like, wow, pile number 2 is like on it. They're so dedicated. They push so hard for what they want. Like, pile number 2 deserves success and deserves to feel recognized for what they're working on and be celebrated for who they are. And maybe this is something that you really want as well, pile number 2, is to receive that validation and that recognition. 3 of Cups, okay? And it's been frustrating that it hasn't came, all right? And it's like, should I move on from something or not? Which is the 6 of Swords, okay? But let's take a look, pile number 2. But I feel like some of you guys are really hard on yourselves. And perhaps some of you in this pile are perfectionists at times, or you're always wanting to do better. And so you overwork, I feel like, with the 10 of Wands, or you're always pushing yourself with the Chariot. Like, you're always pushing yourself. And sometimes it's like, maybe you need to stop and, you know, we do have progress and movement though, but taking time with the 3 of Cups to emotionally decompress and appreciate what's there for you. Okay. And, let's see what we've got going on here. Ooh, we've got butterfly. Ooh, I love that. A change for the better. Butterfly. Beautiful. Okay. We've got goldfish. An increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. And that's interesting because the 3 of Cups in the tarot is the Lord of Abundance. That's the esoteric name for it. So that is very interesting as well. And when we really care about something, even if we go through times of frustration and feeling like we want to give up, I feel like you guys hang in there. You keep pressing forward. And for those of you looking for things to change, a change for the better. And of course, fish have always been associated with like abundance and material wealth. So we can see that here, an increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. Or how about both, right? Pile number 3 or pile number 2. The Chariot is a very spiritual card as well too. And it talks about traversing the different layers of our psyche to an understanding that the journey is more important than the destination, but still being 100% engaged in it. You know, and there's spiritual growth in that for sure. And we have here, ooh, the Empress. I love it. Pile number 2. Hey now. And that Empress is coming out underneath the 10 of Wands, okay? And perhaps some of you, you've just been not feeling your best, or you haven't been feeling beautiful, or you haven't been feeling appreciated, or you haven't really felt like you can relax, okay? And the Three of Cups is definitely an energy of, I need to relax, okay? And, you know, I need to take a break sometimes, and I need to pamper myself and take care of myself and appreciate myself. And especially if you're a person that's always doing things for other people, okay? And the Empress also represents fertility as well too. So perhaps some of you have been looking at some of those fertility options. I know not everybody is at that age where they, or time in their life where they want to be doing that. But I do feel like with the Empress, for those of you that have been struggling with some of those issues or worried about your fertility, I do feel like it's like you're good, okay? You're good to go with the Empress. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Raven and confidence. Ooh, I love that. And what's really interesting about this Charioteer is she does look like she's not very confident about moving something forward. It's like, I have this idea, I have this vision, I have this thing that I want to do, but I'm a little unsure about it, and I'm feeling like I'm lacking in some way. What's interesting, pile number 2, is I feel like no one else really sees you like you're lacking. I feel like other people don't really see you that way. But again, it's how we value ourselves, and it's how we value ourselves internally, okay? And you know, the Empress also has to do with production and progress and creating things and multiplying and being plentiful in what we're working on and what we're doing. It's a pattern of growth, right? The Empress definitely represents growth. And the Ten of Wands is where we're a little frustrated and we feel like we're not growing, or things are just very bland and it's the same thing day after day after day, and it doesn't feel like we're growing any. But your spirit is growing, your soul is growing, pile number 2, okay? And we've got Raven and confidence here. You are encouraged to disconnect from the physical or materialistic plane and move into the spiritual realm. You have a deep spiritual connection, which you mustn't ignore, okay? And sometimes the Ten of Wands can really, like the burdens, and it says burdens on here, the burdens that we have in life can sometimes take away from our ability. And sometimes it's like we're so worried about something, or we're just so sucked up in you know, this and that and everything and the other thing, that we forget about our spiritual connection, or we forget about a deep spiritual connection, pile number 2, that you must maintain, because it's a huge part of your confidence, and connecting to that does have this peaceful mental effect on you, okay? 6 of Swords. And it says here, you have a deep spiritual connection, which you must not ignore. You are on the brink of transformation, and your divine purpose may be revealing itself to you, okay? And this is about having the confidence to take action on that, which is the Chariot card. And sometimes we think that unless we're being applauded by everyone or validated by everyone, our efforts mean nothing. Or if we've been chronically underappreciated for the things that we do, particularly for my women who are watching this, where you're always doing stuff for other people, you're always taking care of other people, you're always doing everything for other people, and you're wondering, you know, when is it my turn to finally be celebrated, you know? And there is this beautiful spiritual growth that is taking place within you now, and a change for the better, the butterfly, okay? Confidence improving. And we have here, I am honest with myself and others, okay? And this may be a question to yourself like, do I really like this? Do I really like doing this? Is this really what I want, okay? And maybe in the past, you guys have just kind of taken on what other people wanted, or tried to fit the role of what other people wanted. And you haven't, at times, maybe pile number 2, you haven't admitted to yourself when you don't like something, or you just keep pressing forward, right? The Chariot, even though you don't like something anymore, it's not what you want to do, or you don't like someone anymore and it's not a situation you want to be in anymore. And you know, it's interesting in life, pile number 2, because even people that are like not psychic, that have no connection to like the woo world or the spiritual world, can feel like when somebody is kind of disconnecting or kind of pulling out from something. Do you know what I'm saying? And even if like, even if like we think, oh, this person isn't, they're not intuitive, they don't really know anything about this, they don't even notice how I'm feeling or what's going on with me. I actually think that there is someone in your life who very much notices pile number 2, and it could be a friend, it could be a relative, whoever it is, but it's important that you're honest with yourself and other people, okay, at this point in time. And if you just keep on doing something but your heart isn't really in it, that feels kind of empty, you know. And coming up, I feel like Spirit is saying there's going to be a change in this, and if a change does come up, it's for the better, okay? We have Chris Cola here, sound healing. Interesting. Maybe you guys have a deep connection to sound healing in general. And I am getting water energy right now for my Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces people. If you have that heavy in your chart, maybe you have Sun Neptune as well. Maybe you're a heavy Neptune person, or Moon Neptune, but there's something for you guys about sound healing here. Chris Cola blends the heart chakra with the throat chakra. It balances the emotion and brings peace and harmony to the mind and heart. 3 of Cups. I love that. When used in combination with the mantra, chant. When used in combination, when sound healing is used in combination with mantra, chanting, spoken prayer, or sacred song, it facilitates sound healing. Beautiful. Maybe some of you are into sound healing, or that's something you've been into, but you've been kind of neglecting it. I feel you guys really do need to connect back to that. Or maybe some of you are musicians or artists, and it's time to connect back into that. Chris Cola is a good stone for counselors, therapists, and anyone who uses the spoken word to heal and comfort others. Oh, I love that. And the 6 of Swords too, talking about helping people make up their minds and make good decisions and having the confidence to move forward with something in their life. Such essential things. And you know, I talked about you guys maybe not feeling appreciated sometimes for all the beautiful things that you say and do and the way that you help others, pile number 2, okay? But I really feel with this 3 of Cups, it says celebration. It's like a celebration of you. It's a celebration of your inner beauty and your outer beauty with the Empress, okay? And it is 7:11 on my clock right now. See that, pile number 2? 7:11. That's one of my favorite numbers. And you know what? I looked up and there it was. So there we go. And affirmation is, my voice has power. I use it to improve the well-being of myself and others. My voice has power, and I use it to improve my own well-being and the well-being of others. And with the Empress, of course, we do really want to focus on our well-being and self-worth and self-respect, and that needs to be kind of at the center of everything. And we have here enthusiasm. Ooh, I like that. Self-expression. Hey now, Empress. Self-expression, inspiring others, self-confidence, okay? Again, we have confidence showing up here again. We have that word twice, confidence, totality, success, sharing success, a positive response. And, you know, here's the thing, pile number 2. I feel like you guys really do try to be encouraging to other people. You know the world is hard. You know it takes a lot of work and effort, and that at times in life we have to deal with feeling overwhelmed, and everybody deals with that. But I kind of feel like if you guys have been feeling burned out, overwhelmed, etc. with the Ten of Wands, it's like as soon as you start focusing on yourself and really taking care of yourself, it's like your enthusiasm for life comes back. And even if you've been feeling under the weather, or you've just been feeling like, I don't really like, I look in the mirror and I don't really look like myself, or I'm not happy with what I see, right? And perhaps you guys are working on that and, connecting to yourself in that way again. And perhaps some of you here help others feel more self-confident, and maybe that's a gift that you have. And with the Empress showing up, it is time to acknowledge your gifts. I feel like pile number 2, it's really important to do that, okay? And perhaps some of you do some type of spiritual work or spiritual healing with others, or you do want to get involved in that. And for those of you that do, or you're artists in some way and you help people through your art, etc., I do think it says an increase in material wealth with this sound healing. So perhaps there is something going on with that. Now, I also feel like somebody is pile number 2, just go with me here. Okay, this may not apply to everybody, but I just have to say it because it's a scenario I'm getting. I feel like somebody wants to move their idea forward. They want to host an event or a celebration or have their work featured somewhere, okay? But it just seems like so hard, or it just seems very impossible with the Ten of Wands, with everything going on and everything happening. And the Empress is about resting and taking a break, but and for those of you that have felt like, well, I want to do that. I want to move what I'm working on forward. I want to take my work to this event. I want to, but I'm just feeling overwhelmed, okay? I totally get that, pile number 2. I really do. But I feel like you're going to do great, and you're going to come off as self-expressed, self-confident. I do feel like you're going to come off as being very confident, and with the Six of Swords here, your mind is going to be right, and you're going to feel like, okay, I got this. Like when the day rolls around, it's kind of leading up to things. I feel pile number 2, where maybe you get a little bit shaky on things, but like the day of, or the day that you're planning to do something, it's like, okay, I got this. And it's like, especially if you're connecting into your spiritual self, pile number 2, and you're getting right with that, it's like when the time comes around, you're more than ready to move forward, and you feel fine about it, okay? And you're actually excited, enthusiasm. You go from feeling like, oh my God, I can't, I'm so overwhelmed, to feeling like excited about showing off something that you've worked on. We have here the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold, okay? And I love the Six of Swords for that imagery, because traditionally in tarot, it's the person in the boat that's kind of rowing out of the choppy waters into the nicer waters, okay? And you want to talk about, a rite of passage or crossing the threshold, like, getting past a unruly period, or a period that feels very intense, and getting to a smoother flow, okay? And we have initiation here, a rite of passage that you've been going through, but it's been necessary to kind of cross this threshold, okay? We have Moon in Sagittarius. It's so funny. I was channeling maps and like being all over the place. And, it's so funny that we got Moon in Sagittarius, because of course Sagittarius is about being in different places, traveling, checking things out, having a curious energy about life. And it says Moon in Sagittarius, discovery, freedom, and adventure, okay? And if there's some place you really want to go, or some place you really want to visit, it's like with this Chariot here, I want to take a road trip, I want to go somewhere, I want to travel, I want to do something. It seems like a lot of work. Ten of Wands, okay? The journey goes smoothly. Six of Swords. The journey actually goes really smoothly. And with the Three of Cups, I feel like you have a nice time. If you're with friends, if you're enjoying yourself, I actually feel like it's good for you. And, there's always moments of hiccups in between things with the Ten of Wands, but, I feel like it's all good. Okay, pile number 2, freedom and adventure. Moon in Sagittarius. I am honest with myself and others. It's like, okay, I don't like living here anymore. Okay, I don't like this place anymore. I don't like this job. Okay, I don't like this thing that I've been going to, this event that I've been going to, that I've been planning, that I've been doing. It just feels so overwhelming. I don't want to do it anymore. I wish someone else would pick it up for me and do it because I'm tired of doing it. I'm getting this energy going on, pile number 2, and if somebody does offer to take over something that you're working on and it frees you up to do something more that you actually want to do, then go for it. Okay, pile number 2, go for it, because a change for the better, butterfly, okay? As Sheryl Crow would say, for those of you who were alive and kicking and awake in the 90s and early 2000s, for my Sheryl Crow fans out there, she had a song called A Change Would Do You Good, okay? And listen to that song. I may post the link to it after this video in the description box if I think about it, but it's a song by Sheryl Crow called A Change Would Do You Good. And the lyrics are like, I think a change would do you good. Pile number 2, okay? So be honest with yourself and other people about what you're actually seeking and what you're actually trying to go after with this moon in Sagittarius, okay? And we have guidance here. Be the light. Yes, for sure. There's a lot of people in this world who are not honest with themselves. They don't know where they're headed. They don't know where they're going. They're not sure what their soul is calling them to do. I mean, I feel like people who are very inspired with their work, their art, very self-expressed, they're like guides for other people, because it's like, okay, I see you doing what you're doing, and you're doing it because you love it and it's freaking cool, and I want to do it too. And I feel like you guys have that power to be very inspiring. And this guidance, be the light, is coming out under this card about this crystal, where it talks about being a counselor, a therapist, and anyone who uses the spoken word to heal and comfort others, okay? And perhaps people are coming to you for guidance, pile number 2. They're coming to you for their needs. And I feel like coming up in the next year, pile number 2, your wisdom shines through. You're attracting people to you, and people want to hear about your journey, the Chariot and Moon in Sagittarius. They want to hear about how you got over the obstacles, Ten of Wands. They want to hear about how you kept the faith, Three of Cups, and how you kept going through these rites of passage, Six of Swords, okay? Like they want, they like that. The world needs that, okay? The world really needs people who are wise and can direct people that way with confidence, okay? And I feel like that's something that you guys are doing. And I feel like you're getting more comfortable with your own inner guidance as well, you know? And your guides are saying your inner guidance and your spiritual connection is all there. It's all there. And I do think your spiritual connection at this time, pile number 2, it needs some attention. It needs some upkeep. It needs some attending to, which doesn't mean it isn't there. It just may mean that you kind of were pushing it to the side because there were other things going on and other things to do. But I kind of feel like Spirit is saying, okay, come back to, just like a horse comes back to the feeding trough to eat. I don't know why I came up with that. Probably because we have the Sagittarius and they're associated with horses. But anyway, pile number 2, Spirit's like, come back to, like the horse coming back, you know, to the trough to like eat. Kind of come back and integrate yourself in that again. And it really does bring an amazing peace of mind and total clarity. 6 of Swords, okay? Really does bring that to you, pile number 2, when you are connected and tapped into that. So pile number 2, and it helps you meet your goals as well with the 10 of Pentacles. It actually is connected to you reaching your goals and being honest about what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it. So pile number 2, that is what I am getting for you, my loves. I hope that that reading resonated. I hope you liked it a lot. I felt it was a very kind of comforting and peaceful reading. I hope that it was for you too. And probably because that's the way you guys are with other people, like, you know, very nurturing. So thank you so much, pile number 2, and I wish you the best, my loves. Let's move on to pile number 3. Okay. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Serpentine, and today's reading is called In the Still of the Night. And we're going to find out what Spirit has to tell you, pile number 3, about your life right now, what messages they want to share. And again, it is coming up on winter solstice here, and it actually is very much a nighttime vibe right now. So I kind of enjoy it, actually, pile number 3. I'm a little weird that way. I turned to my boyfriend the other day and I was like, I love the blackness. You know, it was like 5:30 at night and dark, and I was like, I love the blackness. But anyway, pile number 3, let's go ahead, and this is a very gothy household, pile number 3. Let's go ahead and get, I was gonna say let's go ahead and get your lyrics, but we're not getting lyrics, we're getting tarot cards. So let's go ahead and get your message from Spirit for pile number 3. Oh my, Judgment. Excuse me. Well, Judgment came out in pile number 1 as well. So definitely coming through with the intensity here today with Judgment, but let's go ahead and see. Let's see. What does Spirit have to tell pile number 3 in the still of the night? Okay. And you know what's interesting is it kind of feels like there's maybe a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up, or there's maybe loose ends in your life, pile number 3, that have kind of gotten away from you recently that you maybe need to pay a little bit of attention to. We're gonna go ahead and see what's going on with that, pile number 3, but we have the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck. So let's look at your oracle cards. We've got Haystack, Karma, you will reap what you have sown. Ooh, yep. And that's coming out under that Judgment card right there. Oh, we've got Dolphin. Oh, we needed this. We really needed this, didn't we? Pile number 3. This feels so much more gentle, right? And Judgment, I like Judgment, but Judgment can also feel very harsh sometimes and very unforgiving sometimes as well. Because wake-up calls are not always, you know, if you think about getting a wake-up call at a hotel or something at like 5:30 a.m., they can be, you know, pretty intrusive. But, and Judgment can be where, like I said, where there are some loose ends or there's some things that are unorganized that need attention, okay? And I am getting something about somebody's health. So perhaps pile number 3, that is something that you're working on when it comes to your health and you're needing to take care of yourself or work on things with that, okay? But I love the Dolphin here because it feels like such a relief. And it says financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. And sometimes karma just feels very punishing. I feel like particularly in our Western kind of culture, definition of karma can feel very punishing. And it's like, well, what's next? Like, this just feels very harsh. And very often, you know, not so often do we hear about the good karma that we've created, that actually is bringing us to a place of wholeness and peace, which I feel the way that you guys have, and perhaps some of you are very sensitive to karma, pile number 3, and you're always trying to keep your ledger sheet balanced when it comes to karma. Now, what's interesting for those of you that like astrology, if you're wanting to know like where would be my good karma, okay? I'm just going off on a tangent here for 1 second, pile number 3, so bear with me. When you're looking at past life credit, when it comes to your karma, like what did I do good in a past life that I'm receiving credit for now? Look at your 5th house in your astrology chart and look at the ruler of the 5th house. When it comes to what good karma am I creating in this lifetime through my dharma, through my duty to myself and others, look at your 9th house, okay? Look at the 9th house or the ruler of the 9th house. And those are just a couple things for those of you particularly that are very sensitive to karma and you're wanting to make the right decisions in life and you're wanting to make sure that things are done right, okay? And the Wheel of Fortune is here too, which represents the energy of Jupiter. Jupiter that wants to bring us benefits, rewards, like good karma though, for the things that we've done well in life, that says, you know, you've handled this really well. You deserve some peace, some comfort, some kindness, okay? And you deserve this beautiful reward that you're getting now, okay? So I actually love that for you guys. We have the King of Cups here. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, pile number 3. We have Rabbit and Cleverness. What's interesting, pile number 3, is I did a reading on the rabbit spirit. Actually, if you look back a couple videos, and actually if there's a playlist where it has like spirit animal readings on it, you'll find the rabbit reading that I did there. Maybe you guys are meant to watch that rabbit reading if you haven't already. But you know what's interesting? This King of Cups is holding a medallion with 2 dolphins on it, okay? And then you see another dolphin at the feet of this King of Cups. And this King of Cups is wearing a little pendant that, he's wearing 3 pendants actually, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, the pendants that are kind of running down his chest right there, okay? So rabbit spirit, we'll talk more about that in a minute, but rabbit spirit, cleverness. If you've been going through difficult times, okay, it's time to think outside the box to find a solution. Okay, the King of Cups is very creative thinker. This is also a reminder to avoid neglecting your creative side, okay? If you've let your creative projects lapse, it may be time to pick them up again, okay? And sometimes we just have to be in the right mindset of like coming up with new ideas, thinking about things, and Rabbit Spirit saying, hey, if you've been going through difficult times and you've been avoiding your creative side, it's time to pick them back up again. And of course, the King of Cups is extremely creative, but also the King of Cups can be like, the King of Cups in the tarot is associated with Pisces. And of course, Pisces is representing that very masterful creative energy. But at the same time, Pisces is also very mutable. So it can be like switching things up all the time, procrastinating, putting things down, picking them up back up again. Okay. And I was talking about the loose ends already with this Judgment card right here. And I also am getting something about this King of Cups here too. Perhaps there is somebody in your life that you've been mulling over a lot or you have a deep connection to, but because of that, you've been kind of avoiding some of your creative projects because of this situation. Or there is a person in your life who can really inspire you creatively, okay? So we'll see where we land on this, all right? Life is conspiring for me. Life is, and you can see here, she's reflective, okay? She's very reflective, It looks like she's sitting naked out in the desert, looking up at the orange and pink in the night sky. And she's saying, life is conspiring for me. All right. And perhaps some of you are looking for a very deep, emotional, romantic connection as well here too with the King of Cups. But pile number 3, let's reel it in, okay? And we'll get back to the reading. We have blue quartz and wisdom. Quartz connects you to your higher self, and the blue combines the throat chakra communication with your third eye of wisdom. The deep blue color indicates depth. It is often the quiet ones who possess deep knowledge. Oh my gosh. And of course, you guys could be the King of Cups too, as well. The deep blue color indicates depth, and it's often the quiet ones who possess deep knowledge. Blue quartz encourages you to share your insight. You have wisdom that can benefit others. Do not hesitate to communicate what you know. All right. Your affirmation is, I speak as my higher self. My words uplift, empower, and inspire others. That's interesting because the whole thing with the King of Cups is about living that inspired life and living that inspired journey. Okay, wisdom. And I think this whole wisdom blue quartz came out underneath this karma card. Like I said, I feel you guys are very highly attuned to the universe and you're very wise about karma. Pile number 3. That's why I gave you those tips about the 5th and 9th house. For those of you that know astrology, I gave you those tips because I know you're going to handle them wisely. And karma's been something that you guys have been focused on for a while. And you have learned some deep spiritual lessons. And maybe you haven't always like shared them all the time, or you've kind of kept them to yourselves, or you haven't, you've maybe in this whole thing of life is conspiring for me, maybe you lost a little bit of faith in things too, with this judgment card here of kind of going through difficult times in your life and seeing things unravel, things that you've worked on unraveling. And maybe, you know, sometimes the opposite side of Jupiter with the Wheel of Fortune is losing faith in things. And I feel like that's something that you're gaining back, though, pile number 3. And not only are you regaining faith in yourself and life, but you're also have such a deep sense of quiet wisdom that I just feel others can kind of get lost in that. Like they can really get lost in your ocean, your eyes, just everything. Like you're coming through pile number 3 as experiencing a form of enlightenment. Okay, pile number 3 is that. Are you coming from that place? Because I kind of feel that's where you're coming from here. We have, the receptive. Oh my gosh, the receptive energy and the dolphin spirit, right? And again, talking about reception and receiving, being receptive, the yielding yin principle, devoted, patient. You know, that's interesting because I was talking about working on your health or tying up loose ends and, you know, being a devoted patient if there are things that you're healing from, yielding, surrendering, obedient, supportive, responsive, intuitive, earthly, and mother. Pile number 3. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. For those of you that are beautiful mothers out there, blessings to you. Pile number 3, many blessings to you in the work that you do. Such an important job on this planet to be like a spiritual ambassador and guide to your children, okay? And, you know, the way we mother isn't always just, we can mother, like we can be nurturing and mothering to our friends, towards, you know, people that we work with, towards our beloved animals. Like we can be those very nurturing, devoted people and intuitive, highly intuitive. Pile number 3. very artistic and clever. And just because you're intuitive, softer and intuitive, or you're entering into this phase of faith in things and being softer and being more yin in your life, doesn't mean that you're losing your edge. Pile number 3, okay? You came out with the Judgment card here, and you understand karma, and you know it, all right? But there's also this clever side to you as well with the rabbit, okay? About thinking outside of the box and finding unusual solutions in difficult times. Like, you haven't lost your edge at all, but I do feel there is an overall softening for you here, pile number 3, okay? And I can see her belly here. Perhaps some of you are like, yeah, there has been an overall softening in my belly, all right? But if that's the case, that's fine. You'll take care of it. You'll bring yourself. But I feel like you guys are more into, like, Spirit's wanting to lead you more into flow, okay? And lead you more into, like, passionate creativity, flow, surrender, rather than, like, hardcore knocking on, hardcore intensity, like bleeding all over the battlefield. Do you know what I'm saying, pile number 3? Spirit's wanting to direct you a little bit different direction than that right now. And you know what's interesting? I don't think I've ever drawn, I've had this like light codes deck for 3 or 4 years. I don't think I've ever drawn this card in a reading before. This is the first time I've seen it, actually. It says the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Oh my gosh. Pile number 3. Wow. Okay, and with the Judgment card, and I mentioned about wisdom and karma and understanding what's left when everything in life kind of unravels and changes. Like, you've been training for this for lifetimes. Pile number 3. Wow. Spirit's put so much faith in you to carry a message, I feel, okay? And it's this message of speaking this throat chakra here with this blue quartz of the throat chakra and the third eye and the deep blue color, which indicates depth, and the quiet ones who possess deep knowledge, okay? My words uplift, empower, and inspire others. Spirit has entrusted you to carry a message for them, pile number 3. So, and I think you guys understand the seriousness of that, and that's probably why you've had many, I mean, some of the oldest souls have had the most karma, obviously. I mean, it's just gonna happen that way, but Spirit has really entrusted you, really, pile number 3 has entrusted you to bring a message of healing, creativity, beauty, has entrusted you to bring this message forward. Perhaps for you guys, through your creative projects, through your art, through the things that you love and you dedicate yourself to, okay? Wow, of course. Oh my gosh. Wow. And also for those of you where I was talking about this King of Cups and I was mentioning perhaps there's somebody who's inspiring you in a particular way towards deepness, greater maturity, somebody who is inspiring you and you're inspiring them. We have this sun in Scorpio and it says passion here, okay? So that is very interesting. And it says a passionate, intense, or mysterious phase. Wow. Passion. Also, of course, rabbit has to do with fertility and, screwing a bunch of times. Sorry, Spirit, I got to talk about this for a minute, right? I know it's very uncouth, pile number 3, but these two look like they're about ready to get it on. They look like they're about ready to have a good time, and they're like heating up. They're heating up the atmosphere with their passion and their chemistry for one another. And that's coming out underneath this rabbit. So pile number 3, for those of you looking for a really in tune spiritual partner who's like you, who's very passionate, intense, deep, mysterious, likes to boink a lot, pile number 3, I think there's a person being brought into your life here. For those of you that are looking for that, I do feel that something good is coming your way about this. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have growth. And yeah, this growth period, it says, do not give up now. You have come so far. Growth, okay? And of course, the Wheel of Fortune is associated with Jupiter in the tarot, and Jupiter does have to do with expansion and growth, and it does have to do with our spiritual understanding, but it also has to do with our financial security, as Jupiter is a planet of abundance as well, okay? And it does say financial gain, usually coming from something you've done in the past. Pile number 3, okay? So in this sense, you reap what you sow, but in a positive way for you guys, in a way that's actually really positive. And maybe some of you have been on that very harsh end of the karmic knife before, where you're like, oh no, I know all about reaping what you sow, and in the hard way. But I actually feel like this is a positive thing, pile number 3, okay? That life is conspiring for you. And there's this passionate, intense phase coming up here for you guys. And Sun and Scorpio, very intense, passionate. In the tarot, the Sun in Scorpio is associated with the 6 of Cups. And so for those of you that know tarot, you know what that is. And you know the intimacy that it implies, and the sharing and the opening up that happens from going really deep with somebody, okay? And this person could also be very clever while at the same time very artistic. Let's check it out. We've got the Queen of Swords, okay? We've got, okay, something I'm getting right away, pile number 3, is you guys trusting a different aspect of yourself. Now, pile number 3, I think you're a very smart person. I also think maybe there were times in your life where out of survival, you had to be very calculating or shrewd about the things that you did. And you were always maybe measuring the impact or benefit of the choices that you were making. And it was kind of like more of less of a heart thing and more of a head thing. I also think that you're very wise and you have great advice and you know the right things to say at the right moment. But with the Fool showing up here, I do think there is something different that Spirit is wanting to pull out of you at this time in your life, okay? Like there's a different expression of you, a different side of your personality, a different way of being. And it may feel a little awkward at first, and you may feel a little like klutzy or a little like, I'm so used to being this way. Like now I'm being asked to go deeper, and I'm being asked to the Queen of Swords is all about discernment. And I feel like that is something that has really been tested within you. And I do feel like you've put up with perhaps a lot of people in your life in the past who didn't really know, like they didn't have good discernment. They didn't know what they were doing. And maybe they overly relied on you, pile number 3. Maybe they overly relied on the information, the perspective, etc. that you were sharing, but it never really gave you an opportunity to dive deeper into things. And I also feel some of you maybe could have been a little guarded in your heart space as well, or a little bit critical towards karma, towards love, or a little bit like pushing it away maybe. And the thing is I feel with the Fool, there's this whole new reset coming into your life. There's this whole new energy coming into your life. It's almost like you wake up and it's like, I feel completely different today. And I want to try new things. I want to look at things in a different way. And I do think the Fool is conducive to like cleverness as well. We have the Rabbit energy here. The Fool is very much associated with cleverness, starting new projects over, envisioning how to do things differently, okay? But I also kind of feel like you guys are kind of sick of dealing with people who are very unpredictable, who don't really know what they want, who are all over the place, who don't know how to think through things properly. Like, I feel you guys are a little bit tired of the hand holding in that regard, pile number 3, and I don't blame you. But I also just feel like, this is a lot of air energy with the Queen of Swords and the Fool. And I do feel like it's clever. There's new ideas. And again, as I mentioned earlier in the reading, I don't think you're losing your edge at all by becoming softer. I think you're just opening up a new side of yourself. And frankly, there could be some financial benefits to it as well. And your intelligence isn't going anywhere, pile number 3. It's right there with you. And you're going to make some really smart decisions when it comes to money, because we have this coming out underneath this financial gain and making the right choices, okay? And but something kind of comes up that throws you for a loop. I feel an unexpected meeting that goes way different than you expected, and it's actually way more pleasant or fun or interesting. And I feel like it actually challenges you, particularly for those of you that are like, I never meet anyone interesting. I don't meet people that really challenge me. I feel like, wow, life is really going to bring you guys a wild card. And it's like, I wasn't expecting that, but okay. And we have the 3 of Wands here, which is all about passionately exploring new territory, trying new things. And this does have to do with, like, I'm ready to take these next steps. I'm ready to move forward. And look at the growth you guys have had. Like, I feel like you guys are not afraid anymore. Pile number 3. If you ever suffered from being afraid about things or something like that, I don't feel like you're afraid anymore. You're like, let's go. I got this. Let's go. And the universe loves a go-getter. So, oh, look at this. Page of Cups. Man, pile number 3, I feel like somebody is chasing you, okay? Somebody's got a crush on you, or somebody is chasing after you, and you guys may have a little bit of a, I don't know about this type of energy, but I actually feel like this person grows on you, or again, with this growth here, life is conspiring for me. This person, it starts off as maybe a friendship, or it starts off as, something simple or easygoing, but this person actually has romantic interest in you, pile number 3, and they are trying to get to know you. Is somebody trying to get to know you guys? Is somebody on it here, pile number 3? Okay, I feel that is definitely here for you. But I also feel for those of you that are like, I'm not trying to date anybody, Natalie. I'm the Queen of Swords. Just leave me alone about that. Okay, if that's how you feel, I also feel the Page of Cups is deeply creative, extremely creative. And with the 3 of Wands and the Fool, it says it's time to explore some new ideas. It's time to do things differently than what you've done in the past. And it's time to take a creative risk. And it is time to, like, the more like different or unusual or new, the better, okay? And I feel like you guys really getting motivated to get back into, especially because it said, if you've been neglecting your creative side, if you've let creative projects lapse or things like that, it's time to pick them up again with gutso. And with this Fool here, I feel like, wow, you all of a sudden get some really amazing ideas and you're like, I can't believe I came up with that. That is awesome. All right. And for some of you here too, it's going to make you money, or it's going to bring money, more money in for you as well. But with this Queen of Swords here, as we talked about, the throat chakra, the third eye, very important. And the Queen of Swords isn't always that talkative. Like, she is very choosy about what she is saying. The Queen of Swords is also the airy part of water. And so, because the queens all represent water in the tarot, so she's the airy part of water. Or I'm sorry, she's the watery. Okay, I think I'm saying it backwards. Anyway, the Queen of Swords embodies both water and air energy in the tarot. So yeah, So the queens all do represent water. I don't know why, my brain slipped there for a minute, but the queens in the tarot all represent water, and the Queen of Swords is air. So she is the airy part of water. And I don't know why I just had a mental blank on that, pile number 3. But anyway, she does know a lot. She's very intelligent, but she doesn't always say everything. And she knows how to choose her words wisely. And but pile number 3, I feel like you guys just have such amazing insights and new ideas that it's like, okay, I have to say something, or I absolutely need to do this, or I need to strike while the iron is hot. Okay, when it comes to your creative projects, when the mood hits you, it's like, okay, let's go. I don't want to waste this energy. It's too good to just sit there and not do anything with it. Okay, and some of you could also be making decisions about travel or moving somewhere, particularly with the Wheel of Fortune here, about the environment that you live, or maybe going to some different places. I'm also seeing that, but I also feel a chance encounter with someone you really weren't expecting. Kind of comes out of this too as well, pile number 3. So following your passion, your ideas, your creativity, it does lead you to a really amazing, passionate meeting with someone where this has the potential to grow, okay? So pile number 3, that is what I am getting for you, my loves. I hope that that reading resonated, my dears, and I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback. Take care.